Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of CS Cyber. I'm Chad.
I'm Sean.
And today we're continuing our AI 101 series. And today we're talking about AI myths versus reality.
Yeah. So what are some of the top 5 biggest myths that people repeat? So let's talk about those. One, I think, is AI is always right. That's a myth. It is not, right? It can hallucinate.
Yeah, it's really good at just making things up really confidently, and it's telling you the wrong information without hesitation, really.
Yeah, it says hallucinate here, but I've heard people classify it as lying, right? And I don't know if it's necessarily lying because it doesn't have the intent. I think it's just filling in gaps.
I was going to say that exact same thing, right? It's just making up the gaps in the story.
Yeah,
right?
That's correct.
So,
myth number 2, AI thinks like a human. What's the reality?
It's really pattern prediction and just being trained on tons and tons and tons of data.
Right. So AI hasn't lived in our world. It's not human. It doesn't have feelings. It hasn't been around death or birth or, it's not been part of history.
That's crazy to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't have that experience.
It's got no feelings one way or the other on any topic.
It doesn't.
It's very matter of fact.
It is. And that actually leads into myth number 3, that AI is unbiased.
Yeah. So I think this, and I haven't really tested what I'm about to say, so maybe it's, I don't know. But I've noticed that you can put how you want AI to talk back to you, right? So I mean, you can give it a British voice, you can make it however you want, right? So if it takes those and then you put those biases in there, it's every chat you have from then on out is going to have that in there, right? So
yeah,
I thought about that the other day because I was going through the settings, right? And I was kind of putting things in and I was like, oh, it's talking to me like this in every single chat. So if you set it like that and then forget it, kind of keep that in context.
Yeah, one of our coworkers was telling us in a meeting right before this about the audiences setting in ChatGPT, where you can, ask, kind of put your query in the context of, a kindergartner or something like that, and the responses are coming back very different. But yeah, on the unbiased side, I think it's just important to understand that a lot of these models can be trained in a certain direction, right? If we're talking politically, we're talking left and right. So the model, if you're using ChatGPT can very quickly understand what side of the fence you're on.
Oh yeah,
and start steering a lot of what it says towards that, right? It's confirmation bias.
Right. It's kind of like social media, right? I mean, it'll just feed you more of the same if you're feeding into that and you like it and you're chatting back to it in a certain way. So.
Right. The next one is AI knows your company and your life.
No, it's just software, and unless you tell it those things and kind of prompt it, like what I was talking about earlier, to provide that context, it's just guessing.
And I think it has some awareness just based on what's publicly out there, so it's going to use things like search engines and stuff. So I always tell people you should always Google yourself. I know we use that as a verb, but you should always search yourself or type yourself into something like AI or ChatGPT and understand what it knows about you already.
Yeah. Have you done that?
I have. But I've also, ChatGPT is also something I use on a regular basis. So I think the real test would be for somebody that's never been on any of these platforms to create an account and then on the first request what do you know about me? Yeah. It would be interesting because it's only going to pull that particular knowledge
one time
from what it knows off the internet, right?
Yeah.
Versus over, if you've been using it for the last year or two, and it starts to understand, that you're the cook of the family, and,
right? Yeah.
It knows certain things because you start using it for all aspects of your life.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to go into the last one. Use AI. Using AI is cheating.
Yeah, I don't feel like it is at all.
I don't either. I think it's actually being resourceful.
Yeah, and I mean, I adjunct at Sinclair as well, right? As a professor, and I teach just Microsoft classes, things like that. And I've seen this kind of come up where I had a student that was using ChatGPT. Clearly, he copied the answer, put it into the thing. And I really kind of thought of that, it's no different to me. He got the right answer than him using the search function in Adobe for the the digital book
Yeah.
or using ChatGPT, right? He used a resource. He knew what to look for. He got the right answer, right? And I think in business and in life, I mean, that's what I'm looking for, right? Like I'm not looking for someone to say, oh, I have to go back to this specific book and
Sure.
my answer is here. It's what experience, what tools, what can you use to get a job done, right? So
Yeah, I think it just depends on how you use it, right? It depends on how you use it. Depends on, if you're specifically told, not to use a book or something, and you sneak ChatGPT in, that could be classified as cheating, right?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're violating the rules. But I think it's being resourceful. I agree with you. There are resources out there like Perplexity. Is very good at deep research when you're looking for references. So if you're a student going through, getting your degree and you need to write a paper, I think the more you know these tools, the more that you can force multiply yourself and be more resourceful, both in personal and business life.
yeah.
So I think the question is, ask AI a question well and see what it gets wrong. So, a lot of this might be just as an exercise typing in, tell me how Pearl Harbor ended or what happened to the Titanic, right? There's a lot of things that I think you could ask it so that you can get a frame of what it's up to, right?
Right. And I think overall, when I go to a website, I'm kind of skeptical with what I'm reading anyways, right? So I think always kind of looking at that through like a skeptical lens and trust but verify, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. All right. I think that's about it. And I think in episode 3, we're going to get to guardrails and safety basics.
All right. We'll see you next time.
All right. See you next time.